me. But my full name is Katherine Rivera-Zuluaga. I'm not from the States. I'm from Colombia, so down the south. So when it's pretty warm, we had fresh fruit, and it's really good. Something about what I did before when I was like you, like an undergrad, I'm a biologist. And according to the paper, I'm supposed to know everything about ecology and conservation biology, but that's not true. I do a lot of lab work, so not too much being outside. Right now, I'm a PhD student. Do you guys know everything about Harry Potter? No Harry Potter, you know that Avada Kedavra? So I'm studying plant pathology, so right now, I normally kill plants for living, so I try just to realize what they get sick, like immune system. So normally I'm in the lab like Avada Kedavra, and I try to kill them. But outside the lab, I do nice things. I like to bake, I like to eat, and I have one and only love. So this is the little dog that is in my heart. His name is Oakley Antonio Bad Bunny. I don't know if you guys have heard about Bad Bunny, the singer. So he's named after him. But that's the dog and the love of my life. And that's a little bit about myself. But today, just for the lab itself, we are going to be talking about microbiome. And what exactly is a microbiome is a question that I have for you guys. So we can start. What is a microorganism? Who can tell me? Sorry. Tell me.
Just a really small organism.
It's very small, that's why it's microorganism. So what do we need to see these microorganisms? The microscope, of course. So if we go and see what is the technical definition, a microorganism is an organism that can be seen only through a microscope. And what if we can see under the microscope? We can see a bacteria, fungi, some protozoa, and some like algae. What you can see here in this picture is an agar plate. Agar is somehow a nutritious media for growing stuff in lab, and that what shape we can see in that agar plate. What? A hand. So have you guys think about how dirty are your hands? No? Do you guys think about how many of you guys need your phone to go to the bathroom?
Oh, I need it.
Because I need it, right?
Yeah.
If I know it's gonna be long in the bathroom, I go out and I'm like, I need my cell phone.
Yeah.
And then I sit down and then I can enjoy my time in the bathroom. So imagine how dirty it is. How many of you have think about what do you guys share when you kiss someone? No? How do you guys get a cold?
Wait, what?
A cold. Like sometimes you go out. Let's say that you go through campus, not to mention some places like Cactus or maybe Harry's. So you go over there and you meet someone and then you kiss or you shake hands. Have you guys think about what happens when you are doing that? You are sharing your microbiome with someone and you don't know them. So that's basically what happens in your microbiome. So when we think about what is the microbiome, the thorough microbiome is what is inside of us, what is surrounding our skin, and what is all over the place. How many of you have allergies? How you guys think what happened with allergies in the microbiome? Not really? So, as humans, we get exposed to microbiome when we are in our mommy's belly, right? So the first exposure that we have is while we are growing over there and whatever our moms are eating. Then the second exposure is when we are getting birth. So if it's like through like C-section or going through the bad dating. And we're going down, you get exposed to some microbiome. How many of you were best breastfeed? And then everybody got formula? So how many of you have identified, like think about, why do I have allergies while my cousin, which is like genetic similar to me, doesn't have any? So there are some studies that have plays an interesting thing in the way that we are the way that we are grown, the way that we are raised, means whatever we get as an infection and the environment. And that affects how our microbiome is built in our bodies. And in the same way, since you are exposed to different things, you might get allergies or not. So that's something to think about as humans, how our exposure is. I have been in the States for the past 6 years, and I love food. So every time that I go back to my country, I like to eat everything. Like, I don't care how greasy it is. But then in Colombia, we have a lot of food trucks. And then one day I was with my daddy. My daddy and I, we are besties. And we went to have some food, and there is like shrimp ceviche, which is shrimp cooked in lime juice. And I was in the street, and I was like, Daddy, I want this. And he was like, you shouldn't have it. Your mom said you shouldn't have it. And I was like, but my mom's not here, so let's just have it. And then I got the little ceviche, and then I got food poison. But my daddy, he was fine. He didn't even have diarrhea. I had to spend like 2 nights in the hospital. And the reason that I got that was because I have been here for 6 years. I got my independency, so I get to make my own groceries, which means that I don't eat the same thing that my dad does. So my microbiome has changed. So I don't have the same microbes to digest food as I did before in the past. So every time that I go back to Colombia, I cannot drink water. I cannot have milk. And at the beginning, when I was younger and people from the States used to come to my place, I used to think, they are so big, so fifi. But it's not true. It's actually an issue. The struggle is real, and it's because my microbiome has changed. So that's something to keep in mind. When we think about other things that other use the microbes can be done is in the food industry. So we wouldn't have cheese if it wasn't for some microbes that help us build the cheese. We wouldn't have soy sauce, some beer, some bread, some pizza, because the use of the microbes over these processors is important for the life and for our bellies. So this group, the microbes, is really big. And you can see here how many researchers have classified them. Today we're going just to talk about 4 groups. One of them is bacteria, that is located over here, and is one of the more ancient, like granules. And then we have here some eukarya, and we are going to talk about some fungi and some protozoals.